Hey everyone, Rich here from the RCNetwork.com, and today we're taking a look at my Traxxas TRX-4 Chassis Kit and everything I've done to it since I first built it. Now in this video, I'll be going over everything I added since I first built my chassis kit a little over a year ago now. It's been that long, but I definitely invite you to go back to those videos and check it out, from the unboxing to a couple of upgrades I added before I even drove it, and then finally the reveal video of how it all turned out. Now since those group of videos, I also have gotten a lot of drive time on this vehicle, including adding some upgrades just recently to make the performance of the TRX-4 platform even better. As with all of my videos, I'll have links to each product I mentioned down in the video description so you can check it out for yourself. But before we get to the video, please hit the like button. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. This video is brought to you by the Ridge Wallet. It's light, sleek, and industrial. It doesn't fold or awkwardly bulge in your back pocket, and it seriously changed my whole pocket situation. I've moved from carrying my wallet in my back pocket up to my front pocket now. Most people are still using wallets designed in the 90s, carrying around old receipts, gift cards, hotel keys, and just an unorganized mess. The perfect match for one of those folded up wallets is one of these. Yeah, are you carrying one of these things? Yeah, I don't think so. 2020 called, and it's time to match your wallet to your phone. The Ridge Wallet holds up to 12 cards, plus there's room for cash. There's over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber that I chose, and even burnt titanium. I really love it so far, but don't take my word for it. Check out their 30,000 5-star reviews. And I'll have a link down in the video description straight over to the Ridge Wallet, as well as a discount code you can take advantage of. The first thing I want to talk about is the Sport Camper Shell. Now, a lot of people mistaken this for a Sport TRX-4, but of course this is the chassis kit with all the bells and whistles like the Bronco or the Defender have. Now, I do happen to like the Camper Shell because it gives a lot of rigidity to the actual truck body. A lot of times you'll find that truck bodies end up splitting right here where the back of the cab meets the bed. And I have had a couple of mishaps where I've landed pretty far down and taken off some of the paint here up on the front fender. Not from anything hitting the underside, actually hitting it from the exterior took the paint off of it. Now, I did choose to add the light kit that is stock for the TRX-4 Sport camper or truck bodies, and I gotta say they've handled pretty well. Still getting full power out of these things, and I just hook it directly up to a 3S LiPo. So they're definitely bright, and it gives it a great look when it's out on the rocks. Now, one thing I added from day one on my TRX-4 is the scalar fab bumpers. I went with the very narrow one up here in the front, and it gives an absolutely great approach angle. Nothing gets in the way, and it doesn't happen to be like a plow on the front of your truck. Now, the other one I added also was the rear bumper, and this thing has provided some great protection for the rear of this camper shell body, protecting it from getting it destroyed as you start to depart from a certain rock or hill. Now, my most recent upgrade were these scalar fab sliders, the rock sliders right here. I've been running the stock ones since day one, and they've done pretty well, but I noticed that they were kind of hanging me up a little bit, and these steel sliders here from Scalar Fab with the boat sides have been awesome so far. I haven't run them too much, just out in the front yard crawling over different things, but I can definitely tell a difference, and it definitely lowered everything on the actual chassis, providing a lower center of gravity versus these stock sliders. Now, the wheels and tires I've changed out a few times since the stock tires I was running, and those SSD wheels, those black stamped steel wheels that didn't have too much character that I was looking for. Now, I switched out to these very limited production Proline Pro Forge wheels. These are all aluminum. They have that nice bronze color with the black beadlock rings, and they're just a great option for wheels. A little bit hard to find, and they were definitely pricey initially. I'll link to those up in the upper right hand corner. Now, tire wise, I switched over to the Proline BFG Crawler TAs. Now, the scale looks is just absolutely great, but I've got to say the performance has been even better than the stock tires. Now, just running the stock foams, although they seem to be just a little bit soft right now, so I may upgrade those in the near future, but the grip and traction I'm getting with these tires is just absolutely amazing. Now, one thing I added as far as lighting, I did add this 1-inch Vanquish Products Rigid Industries light bar. Now, of course, I haven't had it actually hooked up yet. Other things have kind of gotten in the way to actually hooking that up, but I plan to do that very soon in the future. Now, mounting it to the Scalar Fab bumper was pretty easy, just a couple of holes into it and just some lock nuts and you're all set to go. Now with the body off, you can definitely see a lot of things has changed from the stock configuration. Now, as I mentioned, I switched out to these Scalar Fab boat side rock sliders here, and they've actually lowered everything down about a ½ inch. But if you look at the actual stock slider here, you can see the slider's a ½ inch lower, but the deck's about a ½ inch higher. So I was able to actually mount everything a little bit lower, lowering the center of gravity and still giving me some great clearance underneath the vehicle. Nothing has changed as far as that, but I get some good looks now and also some steel sliders to get over the rocks. Starting at the front of the vehicle, I ended up adding these ProTech RC 3S LiPos. Now these are an 1800 milliamp and they are a high voltage LiPo, so they run at 11.4 volts. With the such small size, I still get some good runtime out of them, but I'm able to mount them up here in the front battery tray now, just with a simple hook and loop strap. Mounts up here nice and neat and removes a lot of weight from the back of the vehicle back here, where I was normally running like a 5000 milliamp 3S LiPo in the center mounted tray. So I've removed the tray, put the new battery up here in the very front, and still getting about a good ½ hour of runtime, even with doing some fast stuff mixed with some crawling. The next item behind the battery is the AGFRC Servo. Now this is one of their 12 volt smart servos, fully programmable, and it runs off a direct power straight from the battery. So no more needs for a BEC or anything additional to prevent brownouts or glitching. This thing has direct power and it has a lot of it. Almost 1,000 ounce inches is what I found out later after I did this video in the upper right hand corner. Now that video actually features not only the unbox, the install, and also some running footage of my TRX-4, so definitely check out that. Now, right behind the servo is the favorite upgrade I've done so far. Now, this is the Holmes Hobbies Torque Master Pro 21 turn brushed motor. This is pretty much the top of the line of brushed motors that are available. It's a 550 can and has some great low end torque for when you're really on the rocks and you want a very slow startup, very smooth startup. This thing is awesome so far. Now, I only have about 4 runs on this motor so far, but I'm truly impressed, especially over the stock 21 turn from Traxxas. Now, controlling the Torque Master Pro is the Hobbywing Quick Run 1080 ESC. Probably one of the best ESCs on the market for brushed motors. This thing has plenty of power, has definitely a robust BEC, so you wouldn't need to add one if you did have a servo that needed one. And it definitely has a small footprint, a little bit larger than like an SD card, and it mounted nicely here on the new rock sliders I added from Scalar Fab. It has tons of programmability with the included program card and even has an included XT60 connector. Flipping the TRX-4 to the business side, I added these MIP Driveshafts. Now these are a fully new design from MIP over the standard versions that we've seen for years. They definitely have a slimmed down appearance, but definitely not in the durability side. This is still using their hardened steel that they've used for years in their products. And I also have a video on the full install of these and some driving footage of them, even some undershot cam footage, and I'll link to that in the upper right hand corner. Now, although you can't see it, I added the Traxxas Overdrive gears. Now, it gives me a little bit more benefit on the front axle as it actually will spin faster than the rear axle, giving me some added advantage when I'm trying to pull myself up and over obstacles. And it also has a benefit when you're going downhill to where you're actually going to crawl faster on the front wheels, not letting the butt end of the truck flip over, which is definitely a good thing. So with that gets you fully caught up on what I've done to my TRX-4 since the original videos I did almost a year ago now. The only thing I still want to add to this thing would be an actual detailed interior, just so you don't see all of the electronics and inner workings of the RC. It's always cool to have a scale look, and we've been kind of spoiled lately with some of the vehicles that have come out with included interiors. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Which interior are you using? Have you seen one before that looks pretty good? Let me know down in the comments. Now with everything I've added to my TRX-4 chassis kit, it's definitely heavy. Now it's definitely forward heavy, which I definitely like, but when you weigh it on a scale, this thing weighs in right over 8 pounds, all ready to rock. But there's no mistaking, this platform is awesome. I love everything that it does and how it performs, which is why I went ahead and picked up one of these to see if I can't build a lighter weight version to give me a little bit more versatility when I'm out scaling. But with that, I want to build this one up as a budget scaler. I'm going to keep to a certain budget as I'm adding the electronics and the body and everything else to this vehicle, and see how I can make it a little bit different than my original chassis kit. Well guys, that is my long-term update of my TRX-4. I absolutely love this vehicle. It's going to be here for a long time here at the RC Network, and I just love driving it. I love just throwing it in the truck, hitting a trail, and just turning and exploring where it can go and what lines it can definitely do, and exploring where it can go and how it handles. But as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments section. Do you have a TRX-4? Do you have a TRX-4 Sport? Leave me your comments down in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. And like always, if you like this video, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. And finally, my name is Rich. Thanks for watching.